All right, and welcome back to Skyrim Survival. Starting out, a little recap. We had just started a new playthrough of Skyrim here, and what we were doing, or what's the main goal of this series, is we have my character, Blazera Singe, here, and she is on a quest to read every single book that she can in Skyrim, which, by the way, let me pull that up. Okay, got my little spreadsheet of every single book, so I can keep track of that. Open, there we go. Alrighty. And also, she is kind of in the service of, or wanting to be in the service of Daedra, which I'm going to get into the explanation of that by giving a little bit of a backstory to this particular Argonian. Alright. Before I do that, let me just state that we are currently on our way to Whiterun to warn the Jarl about the dragon attacks, as we just got out of Helgen. And we're going to have to walk there because we don't have a horse yet. That's what we're going to do. It's a nice night. Ooh, look at the stars. Very pretty. Okay. So while I'm walking, I'm going to give a little backstory for Blazera here. So, off the bat, I will state that she originally was not an Argonian. In the beginning of her life, she was actually a Breton. And she was a Breton for a good, up until her young adult teen years. And she was very much into reading a lot of books, you know. Of course, when she started to get, older, she, hey, I'm narrating here. I'm telling my life story. Go away. Became a hot dog. Okay. Where was I? So yeah, you know what happens. You get older, you get to teen years, you start to get a little bit curious. Let's just to say she started to look for a certain kind of archive. And she came across, there's a couple tomes of interest, One of them, which is famous at this point, is the one called the, what was it called? The Lusty Argonian Maid. And it could have been that that particular tome had something to it, or just that, someone was looking at she was in the wrong place at the right time, kind of thing. And while she's, reading this, she had the sense of, oh God, I wish that were me. Self-imposing herself in the kind of just imagining in place of what the Argonian was going through. Trying to keep it vague for those of the younger variety who might not know. So essentially, at one point, a Daedra showed up, and she's unsure if it was just a run-of-the-mill Daedra or was a Daedric prince. Could have been Sanguine, could have been Shegorash, could have been Clavicus Vile, could have been Ursine. But anyway, it's like, oh, you want to... It's like, I wish that were me. And it's like, oh, do you?
Good enough.
Hey, guys.
You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield sister.
What is a shield sister?
An outsider, eh? Never heard of the Companions? An order of warriors. We are brothers and sisters in honor. And we
Okay.
show up to solve problems if the coin is good enough.
Can I join you?
Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Kodlak Whitemane up in Jorvaskar. The old man's got a good sense for people. He can look in your eyes and tell your worth. If you go to him, good luck.
Ooh, okay. That's actually getting me started on that one quest a little earlier, which is good. Okay, so essentially a Daedra of some sort showed up. Be like, you want to be at Argoni? And she's like, yeah. You know, young, kind of not thinking, right? Poof. Became Argonian. And I'm cold. Which is one of the problems of being an Argonian. They don't take to temperature well. Oh, Khajiits. But before I go up there, I have foreknowledge that there is a wild horse somewhere in this direction that I want to tame. Because wild horses have highest stats of stamina and health in comparison to other horses in the game. The one over here should be a red horse, which is not my preferred color. I prefer that Blazera would ride a pale steed. But for now... Are they not gonna show up until I get a map? Like somewhere over here. Hey, Foxy. But yeah. She became an Argonian relatively, like, early in her life. And is that it over there? Which, you know, caused a bit of problems. You know, young girl disappears, Argonian appears, prejudices abound, as per usual. Of course, with Bretons, they're a little bit more understanding of weird magic stuff. Still, it did cause her to run away. In fact, the one thing that caused her to run is, you see the scar there. She had a cat, not a Khajiit, like an actual cat as a pet. And it didn't recognize her, you know, smells all different. And it scratched her. And she's like, you know, had to leave because of that. She's like, oh dear.
Perhaps you have encountered Madran or Akari. Both are sworn to me, and both have worthy goods to offer.
Okay, what do you got for sale?
Take a look.
Some money. Is there anything else I have that I can give away? We don't need the helmet. I gotta disenchant that. There's a ring. Potions. Still good with that.
The longer we travel the roads of Skyrim, the more empty this land seems.
I've heard you've been running into trouble along the road.
It is all in this note.
Thank you. I'm curious about your homeland.
The Khajiit hail from a distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always.
That sounds
They're a
nice.
city so ancient, the sands have swallowed them whole. But now I will say no more, for I miss my home greatly.
I sell your goods in Skyrim.
An astute question, for we are far from home, And this is a cold, hard land. The wise trader finds the best opportunities, even if he must travel far to find them. Skyrim is a ripe opportunity indeed. The dragons and the war have scared many other traders away. But for those with courage, there is much profit to be made.
All right.
I hope that you will come to do business with us again.
I've tried to do a Khajiit playthrough one time, but I couldn't get over the fact that everyone was like making derogatory comments about cats at me all the time, like, you know, skinning cats, that kind of stuff. It was not sitting right with me, honestly. Is it too early? Are you guys around? What time is it? 7 in the morning. Just walking through a good time of the night. I'll have to come back later. Lavender. Another gun. I didn't see the horse, though maybe I actually need the map of wild horse locations in order to activate it. Maybe. Either way, let me move on. I'll get it later.
Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only.
Riverwood calls for the Jarl's aid.
Riverwood's in danger too? You better go on in. You'll find the Jarl in Dragon's Reach, at the top of the hill.
Oh, Falmer.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle.
Thunder cotton. Thunder cotton. Thunder cotton. Thunder cotton.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. Mourned, I don't claim to be the best blacksmith in Whiterun. Yorland Greymane's got that honor. Man's steel is legendary. All I ask is a fair chance.
Need any help around the forge?
Yes, actually. How about you smith me an iron dagger? Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead.
Thank you. Do you work the forge all day?
Aye, that I do. I've got to, if I hope to be as good as Yorland Greymane someday. In fact, I just finished my best piece of work. It's a sword. I made it for the Jarl, Balgroof the Greater. It's a surprise. I don't even know if he'll accept it, but... Listen, could you take the sword to my father, Proventus Avenici? He's the Jarl's steward. He'll know the right time to present it to him.
I'll do it.
Thanks.
How much can you tell me about Whiterun?
Plenty. I'd say we're prosperous enough. Most folk don't go hungry, if they're willing to work hard. The city's ruled by the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. That's the fortress there, up on the tall hill. But you're probably more interested in Jorvaskr, Mead Hall of the Companions.
Not really.
Their deeds of war and valor are legendary.
Oh, wait. Yes, companions. Horse armor.
Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
So, ooh, hunting bow. Yes, please. Gives me a little bit of an itch. Steel mace. I don't have enough. Let's see if I can sell my other mace. Not enough. Arrows, perhaps. Got some good armor, but it is expensive. Oh, this is, I need to make the stuff. Alright, give me 1 second.
Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need it.
To make an iron dagger, right? Oh, that's my quest.
That's a decent weapon you've made there.
Here you go.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. Not bad, but it's a little dull. How about you sharpen it up? Just need a bit of metal and the grindstone over there.
Alright.
Until next time.
Is this better?
I don't claim to be the best. Have you met my... This looks good. You put time into your blades, they'll serve you well when you need them. You want to keep helping? How about you make some armor? Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack.
It's a nice little tutorial section for doing smithing. Alright, made some leather.
You think... Ah, good. A lot of weapons and armor need leather for straps fitting, that kind of thing. Let's see if you can make a hide helmet. Here's the rest of what you need.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Hide helmet.
Need something? I should hire you to be my assistant at this rate. Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench over there. Don't forget to check inside the shop if
Okay.
you need anything. Out. You have talent. Keep working at your craft and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you will remember me when you're making Skyforged steel, huh?
Actually, I'm going to sell
Take a
these
look.
back to you, alright? Because I don't really need them. The dagger, maybe. I might keep the dagger, but the helmet... Yeah, you can have the helmet. Speaking
All right
of,
then.
can I... This requires steel. Well, I have some iron. Some leather strips. I can improve these. Alright. Alright, so we do have that one thing there. So that's a house I can buy.
I ain't done nothing.
Are you always drunk?
Only if I can help it.
Huh.
But damn if I ain't almost sober. Hey, in the Bannered Mare, there's this bottle of Argonian ale. The good stuff. Get it for me. They won't even know it's gone. Come on.
I'm not going to feed your bad
And we
habit.
got nothing more to talk about.
Here, have a gold piece.
Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart. Sure, whatever.
What's this place here? I am getting hungry. Drunken Huntsman. Wonder if there's any books in here. Battle of Champions. There is talk in the taverns about a battle in Whiterun between two champions, one Stormcloak, one Imperial, yet while the stage has been set, the actors have not. How do I say that? Ysarld, thrice pierced, has made it clear that the Stormcloak champion must prove their mettle by bringing him the pelts of 5 snow bears. While the task seems daunting, rumor has it that a warrior named Kilja Wolfclaw of Burma has already slain the beasts and has made her way to Kynes Grove. For their side, Legate Aventus Caesenius has made no mention of any ritual in selecting their champion. It makes you wonder if any willing soldier would do. Little quest there. Alright, hello.
Ah, hello, my Argonian friend. In the market for some hunting supplies?
Why is the name the Drunken Huntsman?
Yes, I hear that question often. My brother Honorius and I came up with it one night after consuming rather too much mead. After our drinks, we went out for a moonlight hunt. We got separated, and in his drunken state, my brother mistook me for a deer.
Ooh.
He shot an arrow that pierced my, well, rump. After such a memorable adventure, we knew we had the name for our shop.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm not interested in working a 9 to 5.
Thank you very... Hello, Fred.
Let me
An
talk
archer,
about...
huh? I've got just what you need.
Oh yeah, there's Imperial. Oh, I gotta do some questings.
Farewell.
Okay. Ooh, food. Is there any books? Keep an eye out for some books. That's what I'm on the hunt for. Oh, hello. Who are you?
I know nothing of fear, and nothing of remorse. Pay my fee, and together we will vanquish any foe.
I've never met you before. You're a mercenary?
I am an artisan, painting in strokes of blood red upon the canvas of life. But yes, I will take coin to fight at your side. After all, where is the value in creating art if there is nobody left alive to see it? Walk always in shadows, so that you will see your foes before they see you.
I've never met you, hon. Okay, books. Ah, a book. Book. What are you? The Third Era Timeline. Alright, this is a new one. Gotta remember not to steal that. Okay, let me just mark this off on my sheet here. Alright. Okay. Let me drink some water before I start my narration. Which, by the way, if I ever end an episode just abruptly, it's probably because Skyrim crashes. Just forewarning you. Alright. Third Era, an abbreviated timeline by Jaspus Ignatius. It has been said that citizens of the Empire who make the same mistakes as their forebears deserve to suffer the same fate. And while this may be true, it's hard to deny that the Empire's history is so long and our forebears have made so many mistakes, it's sometimes hard to keep track. This work is meant to serve as a concise compilation of the Empire's most recent events in our current age, what we refer to as the Third Era. It is a period of time that has, as of yet, comprised less than 500 years, but it should at least serve as a starting point for those who wish to study our Empire's vast and varied history, and maybe, just maybe, prevent the repeat of a previous disaster. It is also worth noting that when viewed in such a succinct structure, one truly gets a sense of just how often our great empire has changed leadership. Indeed, it can be argued that much of the empire's history in these past 5 centuries is the changing rule of that very empire itself. First century, Third Era 0. Beginning of Third Era, when all provinces in Tamriel are unified. Third Era 38. Death of Emperor Tiber Septim and crowning of Emperor Plagueis. Is it Pelagius? Or I think it's Pelagius. I think it's Pelagius. Third Era 41. Assassination of Emperor Plagueis and crowning of Empress Kintyra. Third Era 48. Death of Emperor Kintyra and crowning of Emperor Uriel I. Death of Emperor Uriel I and crowning of Emperor Uriel II. in the Third Era 64. Third Era 82, death of Emperor Uriel II and crowning of Emperor Pelagus II. Pardon me. Third Era 99, death of Emperor Pelagus II and crowning of Emperor Antiochus II. Antiochus? I'm not sure how you'd pronounce that. Antiochus, I will say. 2nd century, 3rd era, 110. War of the Isle, 3rd era, 111. Knights of the Nine, founded by Sir Emil Lanus. 3rd era, 114. Reported death of Empress Kintyra II. 3rd era, 119. Birth of Plagus III. 3rd era, 121. Uriel III, proclaimed emperor. 3rd era, 121. War of the Red Diamond. Ooh, that sounds interesting. 3rd era, 123. 23rd of Frostfall. Actual death of Empress Kintyra II in captivity in secret. 3rd era, 127. Death of Emperor Uriel III and crowning of Emperor Sepphoris I. 3rd era, 137. Death of Potema, the Queen of Solitude. 3rd era, 140. Death of Emperor Sepphoris I and crowning of Emperor Magnus. 3rd era, 145. Death of Emperor Magnus and crowning of Emperor Plagus III. 3rd era, 153. Death of Emperor Plagus III. 3rd era, 153. Kitaria takes throne from husband, Plagus, becoming empress. 3rd century. 3rd era, 200. Death of Empress Kitaria and crowning of Emperor Cassinder, I will say. 3rd era, 202. Death of Emperor Cassinder and crowning of Emperor Uriel IV. 3rd era, 247. Death of Emperor Uriel IV and crowning of Emperor Sepphoris II. 3rd era, 249. Invasion of the Empire by the Lich Cameron Usurper. 3rd era, 253. Cameron Usurper controls the Dwinnen region with Nightmare Host. That sounds interesting. What is all that about? What's the Nightmare Host? Alright, I digress. 3rd era, 267. Defeat of Cameron Usurper. 3rd era, 268. Crowning of Emperor Uriel V. 3rd era, 271 through 3rd era, 284. Various conquests of Emperor Uriel Septim V. 3rd era, 288. Invasion of Akaviri by the forces of Emperor Uriel Septim V. 3rd era, 290. Death of Emperor Uriel V and crowning of Emperor Uriel VI. 4th century. 3rd era, 307. Uriel VI gains full power as emperor. 3rd era, 220. Death of Uriel VI and crowning of Empress Morihatha. 3rd era, 331. Publication of the 2nd edition of A Pocket Guide to the Empire. 3rd era, 339. Assassination of Empress Morihatha, and crowning of Emperor Plagueis the Fourth. Third Era 389, Jagar Thrawn betrays Emperor Uriel Septim the Seventh. When did we got a seventh emperor? When did that happen? There was a thing. We missed a succession, didn't we? There was like a period that wasn't recorded there. Third Era 396, regional wars throughout Tamriel. Third Era 396, the Arnesian War. Third Era 399, defeat of Jagar Thrawn. Third Era 399, the founding of Orsinium. 5th century. Third Era 303, assassination of Lysandus, the king of Daggerfall. Third Era 414. Vordenfell territory opened for settlement. Third Era 417, the Wasp in the West occurs. The Warp in the West occurs, excuse me. Warp in the West. Third Era 421, Graywyn founds the Crimson Scars. Third Era 427, beginning of the Blight Curse of Vordenfell and arrival of the Nerevarin. Third Era 427, the Blood Moon prophecy comes to pass on the Isle of Solstheim. Ooh. Third Era 432, publication of third edition of A Pocket Guide to the Empire. Third Era 433, assassination of Emperor Uriel Septim the Seventh. Third Era 433, the Oblivion Crisis. That's the one I want to experience. Third Era 433, the Knights of the Nine are reformed. All right. That was a bit of a boring read, but at least we got some interesting little stories too. You scared me. Oh. Oh, Lord. Alright, I don't know how long I've been reading for. Ooh, it's nice and rainy. I'm gonna check in here. If there's any books in here from the Ward Maidens. Hello.
Welcome to War Maidens. Now you, my girl, have definitely come to the right place.
Who forges your arms and armor?
Adrienne, at her forge, just outside. Place is named after her. War Maidens. It's a childhood nickname given by her father. What I hear, she was playing with swords even back then. Anyway, our wares are strong and the price is fair. What else matters?
Who's in charge of Whiterun?
That'll be the Jarl, Balgruf the Greater. He's an honorable enough man. Never done wrong by me or my kin. Things are tough for him now, I'd wager. What with the fighting and the dragons. But Balgruf's a tough old Nord. He can handle it. Good doing business with you.
Yeah, I don't have enough to buy anything right now, but I am interested if you have any books lying around. Probably not. Probably that's a negative. Oh, maybe in here. Any books? It's a cooking pot. I don't have anything to cook right now. Oh, flowers, flowers. This is me picking flowers. Very nice. Oh, hello, madam.
Maybe some other time I'll reveal your destiny. Tea leaves, palm reading, crystal scrying. Ooh, maybe trepanning.
I will have to come back to her later with the one quest. Alright, I'm not talking to you.
You know what's wrong with Skyrim these days?
What?
Everyone is obsessed with death.
Fresh baked loaves.
Well,
Still warm
Oh. I think that's a thing of the dark, not the dark, but the Thieves Guild. It's an insignia of something.
Got something for just about everybody in here.
Nice.
Give a holler if you have any questions.
A book. Uncommon Taste by the Gourmet. Right. All right, let me give a little bit of a swig of water before I begin my narration. All right, Uncommon Taste by the Gourmet. Congratulations! By opening this volume, you have taken the first step on a truly epic journey, a voyage through the vast landscape of Breton food and its myriad joys and wonders. You will explore scents, flavors, and textures so exquisite they will seem impossible, but they are more than possible. Indeed, by following the carefully selected recipes presented in this cookbook, you will prepare extraordinary dishes with such unordinary ease, those around you will suspect sorcery, but the only magic that is that which exists in your own heart, the passion you possess for creating delicious, amazing food that can be prepared easily and enjoyed endlessly. Start here, and someday you too can be a gourmet. Ooh, and we actually get some recipes. I wonder if any of these are actually, I have to check in the Skyrim Elder Scrolls cookbook that I have. I think they are. But I wonder if the recipes are any different. I'll have to double check. I'll report back later if they are or not. Pardon me. Sunrise souffle. Ingredients: 2.5 ounces cow's cheese, 1 ounce butter, 1 ounce flour, 9 ounces milk, a dash of salt, a dash of pepper, a cup of ground nutmeg. Recipe: stoke the flames on your oven and achieve a moderate heat. Grate the cheese into thin shavings by running a finely honed elven dagger over the block. Separate the egg whites from the yolks and beat the whites vigorously until they thicken. Begin preparation of the signature sunshine sauce. Melt the butter and add in the flour while stirring continuously until well blended. Move the mixture to a smaller flame and begin gently stirring in the milk. It is crucial that you do not stop stirring. Continue to do so for 10 minutes until the mixture thickens. Then, and only then, will the sunshine sauce be considered ready. Add the salt, pepper, and nutmeg and remove from the flame. Add in the grated cheese and then the egg yolks. Stir well until fully blended. Then add in the egg whites with a spoon made of carved hickory wood. Ooh, that sounds good. Gently pour the mixture into 4 stonework souffle dishes, filling each neatly but not quite to the top. Nearly, but not quite to the top. Put the dishes in your moderately hot oven and shut that door. Keep sealed for 25 minutes or your scrumptious suns will rise only to fall down flat into the oven's abyss. Remove after 25 minutes and serve immediately. Behold the brilliance of the sun and the exquisite flavor of the sunshine souffle. Potage le magnifique. Ingredients: 4 cups chicken broth, 4 cups beef broth, 2.5 ounces butter, 1 wooden flagon of flour, 1 cup diced carrots, ½ cup diced onions. Recipe: stoke the flames of your open pit fire and achieve a low heat. Combine all ingredients into a large soup pot. Stir vigorously. Once hot, pour into earthen soup bowls immediately. Behold the gourmet's signature dish, the potage le magnifique. But wait, I know you're wondering, that's it? Is that all there is to it? What's the secret of the gourmet? Do you really expect me to give away the secret to my most popular dish? Well, guess what? I will. For that secret, my friends, is you. That's right. The Patag Le Magnifique is delicious and extraordinary. Using just the simple ingredients listed, you will create a patag that is both hearty and delicious. But in order to make the Patag Le Magnifique truly magnificent, it takes the imagination of a truly inspired chef. Do you have that gift? I have served bowls of the Patag Le Magnifique that have caused grown men to weep with joy. Can you guess what I added? Can you create magic? That's gonna come up later.
Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second.
I don't know if you should be advertising that, my friend. Okay, that's a ledger. That's a steak. Don't mind me, I'm just wandering around. So, any other books for me to read? Doesn't look like it. There's a house.
Nothing. And what of my son? What of Thorold? Is he nothing? So don't talk to me about suffering.
And your kin to a choice cut.
Your son chose his side, and he chose poorly, and now he's gone. Such is the way of war. The sooner you accept his loss, the better.
I will never accept his death. My son still lives. I feel it in my heart. So tell me, Battleborns, where is he? Where are you holding my Thorold?
Come on, father. There's nothing more to be said here.
From the oven.
Hello, ma'am.
All I can think about is my son, my Thorold. They say that he was killed, but I know better. I know my son is alive. Those Battleborn, they're in with the Imperials. They know it too, and yet they lie to my very face.
How can you be sure your son is alive?
I just know it. I can feel it in my heart. You have to believe me. Please visit me at my home. I can tell you the whole story.
You get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Ooh. Ooh. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Pretty, pretty flowers. Hello.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. If
Hello.
not, let me know. I might have it stored away.
Hello.
You look rather pale. Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil.
Can I use your alchemy lab?
As long as you clean up. You know how to use it, right? Mix a couple of ingredients together, see what happens. A little wheat and blisterwort makes a healing potion, if you didn't know. We have plenty of ingredients for sale, too.
So you're a healer?
Of a sort. I don't have formal training in the restoration school, but
there's 3.
Something just as good. Within these walls, I have all that I need to brew a potion for nearly any ailment. If I had a septum for every case of rock joint or whitbane I've cured since I opened this shop, I'd be a rich woman indeed.
You ever think of returning to Cyrodiil?
Why? Because I'm a proud citizen of the Empire? Because the Stormcloaks only want Nords in Skyrim?
I didn't
The
mean
Stormcloaks
that.
can rot in oblivion for all I care. I've lived in this city for 20 years. 20!
I think you need to drink some water. Your lips look a little chapped. Training in alchemy?
Come back anytime.
I'll
if
come
you need a
back to
remedy.
that if I need. We got books. Ooh, we got 3 there. Before I do that, though, I'm wanting to do some potion crafting. I got so many flowers. Nom. 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 Okay. Let's see what we can craft.
I offer remedies for ailments. You brewed a truly vile poison there. I pity the beast that tastes that.
See what I usually do? I go
If
down
there's
the
anything
list.
I can help with, you have but to ask.
Ooh, and now I can level up. Alright, that's all for that one.
I offer remedies for ailments both common and rare. Do let me know if I can be of service.
Yeah, just don't talk to me for a little bit, hon. I'm working here.
I sell cures for all ailments, and I'll be happy to serve you.
Okay. Any other books in here? Oh, there's books. Books books upon books. Oh, I think I'm going to be spending the rest of the episode in here. What's my time at?
If there's anything I can help you with, you have but to ask.
All right. We're going to finish kind of this episode just reading every single book we can in here. All right. Let's start with the Firmament. Yeah, the Firmament. We mark that. Okay. There's a bit of water. All right. The Firmament by Fulk. The stars of Tamriel are divided into 13 constellations. 3 of them are the major constellations known as the Guardians. These are the Warrior, the Mage, and the Thief. Each of the Guardians protects its 3 charges from the 13th constellation, the Serpent. When the sun rises near one of the constellations, it is each constellation's season. Each constellation has a season of approximately 1 month. The Serpent has no season, for it moves about in the heavens, usually threatening one of the other constellations. How does that work? So there's like a moving set of stars? Or is that space things? Or is the Serpent, is that like a comet or something? I don't know. The Warrior. The Warrior is the first Guardian constellation. He protects his charges during their seasons. The Warrior's own season is Last Seed, when his strength is needed for the harvest. His charges are the Lady, the Steed, and the Lord. Those born under the sign of the Warrior are skilled with weapons of all kinds, but prone to short tempers. The Mage. The Mage is a Guardian constellation whose season was first used by men. His charges are the Apprentice, the Golem, the Ritual, and the Ritual. Those born under the Mage have more magicka and talent for all kinds of spellcasting, but are often arrogant and absent-minded. The Thief. The Thief is the last Guardian constellation, and her season... Oh, it's a her. Oh, I didn't know the Thief was a lady. That's cool. The Thief is and her season is the darkest month of Evening Star. Her charges are the Lover, the Shadow, and the Tower. Those born under the sign of the Thief are not typically thieves, though they take risks more often and only rarely come to harm. They will run out of luck eventually, however, and rarely live as long as those born under other signs. The Serpent. The Serpent wanders about in the sky and has no season, though its motions are predictable to a degree. No characteristics are common to all who are born under the sign of the serpent. Those born under this sign are the most blessed and the most cursed. The Lady. The Lady is one of the warrior's charges, and her season is Hearthfire. Those born under the sign of the Lady are kind and tolerant. The Steed. The Steed is one of the warrior's charges, and her season is Midyear. Those born under the sign of the Steed are impatient and always hurrying from one place to another. The Lord. The Lord's season is first seed, and he oversees all of Tamriel during the planting. Those born under the sign of the Lord are stronger and healthier than those born under other signs. The Apprentice. The Apprentice's season is Sun's Hide. Those born under the sign of the Apprentice have a special affinity for magic of all kinds, but are more vulnerable to magic as well. The Atronach. The Atronach, often called the Golem, is one of the mage's charges. Its season is Sun's Dusk. Those born under this sign are natural sorcerers with deep reserves of magic, but they cannot generate magicka of their own. The Ritual. The Ritual is one of the mage's charges, and its season is Morning Star. Those born under this sign have a variety of abilities depending on the aspects of the moons and the divines. The Lover. The Lover is one of the thief's charges, and her season is Sun's Dawn. Those born under the sign of the Lover are gracious and passionate. The Shadow. The Shadow's season is Second Seed. The Shadow grants those born under her sign the ability to hide in shadows. The Tower. The Tower is one of the thief's charges, and its season is Frostfall. Those born under the sign of the Tower have a knack for finding gold and can open locks of all kinds. Oh, cool. Also, to the person who commented in the comments, I'm good. So if you've come to advertise having art made, I am not interested. That is usually what happens on Twitch. It's like, hey, you want me to make art for you? And I'm like, I'm an artist. I make my own stuff. Thank you, but no.
You'll find tonics, salves, poultices, and potions on my shelves. Browse to your heart's content.
Okay. Next up, a dream of Sovngarde. Mark that off on my list. Alright. In a few hours, I will likely be dead. My men and I, Nords of Skyrim all, will soon join with the Emperor's legions to attack the Imperial City. The Aldmeri are entrenched within, and our losses will be severe. It is a desperate gambit, for if we do not reclaim the city, we will lose the war. Last night I prayed to mighty Talos for courage and strength in the battle to come. In these last cold hours before the sun rises, I sit down to write this account of a dream I had not long after. I believe this dream was the answer to my prayers, and I would pass along the wisdom it contained to my kinsmen, for the battles they will fight in the years after my passing. In the dream I walked through mists toward the sound of laughter, merriment, and the songs of the north. The mists soon cleared, and before me lay a great chasm. Waters thundered over its brim, and so deep it was, I could not see the bottom. A great bridge made all of whalebone was the only means to cross, and so I took it. It was only a few steps onto the bridge, then I encountered a warrior grim and strong. "I am Tsun, master of trials," he said to me, his voice booming and echoing upon the walls of the high mountains all around us. With a wave, he bade me pass on. I knew in my heart that I was granted passage only because I was a visitor. Should the hour come when I return here after my mortal life, the legends say that I must best this dread warrior in single combat. Beyond the bridge, a great stone longhouse rose up before me, so tall as to nearly touch the clouds. Though it took all my strength, I pushed open the towering oaken door and beheld the torch-lit feast hall. Here were assembled the greatest heroes of the Nords, all drinking mead poured from great kegs and singing battle songs, suckling pigs turned on a long iron spit over a roasting fire. My mouth watered at the smell of roast meat, and my heart was glad to hear the songs of old. "Come forth!" cried out a hoary man who sat upon a high wooden chair. This I knew to be Ysgramor, father of Skyrim and the Nords. I approached and knelt before him. "You find yourself in the Sovngarde, Hall of the Honored Dead. Now, what would you have of me, son of the North?" he bellowed. "I seek counsel," said I, "for tomorrow we fight a desperate battle, and my heart is full of fear." Ysgramor raised his tankard to his lips and drank until the cup was empty. Then he spoke once more. "Remember this always, son of the North. A Nord is judged not by the manner in which he lived, but by the manner in which he died." With that he cast aside his flagon, raised his fist in the air, and roared a great cheer. The other heroes rose to their feet and cheered in answer. The sound still rang in my ears when I awoke, and I gathered my men and told them of my vision. The words seemed to fill their hearts with courage. The horns are bellowing, and the banners are raised. The time has come to muster. May Talus grant us victory this day, and if I am found worthy, may I once again look upon that great feast hall. Skardan, Free Winter. Alright, that's a nice one. Alright, and now we have Herbane's Bestiary, Ice Wraiths. Alright. 17 Last Seed. When winter's chill descended upon me as I traveled further north through the frozen plains and mountains, I settled in at an inn at Dawnstar for a moment of respite and a warm meal. Another traveler there told me to be cautious, that there are creatures who settle into the powder white of the snow with nary a clue to the carelessness until it is too late. He went on, with wild gestures and fantastic tales of entire merchant expeditions being killed by the beasts. His stories frightened the other inn patrons, but I will not be turned by a coward's tale. I will see these for my own eyes, for those icy caves and snow-capped peaks of the north are exactly the type of places that call to an adventurer like me. It did not take me long to find what I sought. These ice wraiths are lucid, serpentine creatures of magic, as if conjured from the frozen tundra and glaciers of Skyrim itself, at one with an environment that makes them nearly invisible. These ethereal apparitions are the death of many Nords, if not by their sudden unholy strike that casts their entire body through their target, then by the malady of Whitbane, a curse of infection that dulls the intellect and makes the target even more the victim. As deadly as they are, ice wraiths are simple-minded in their determination, and combat is a straightforward affair, and brute force and a sharp blade are enough to fell these savage creatures. Only the hardiest of men would hope to survive just one of these beasts, but I have slain 2 with general ease. It's good to have found that I can make decent coin by selling ice wraiths' teeth, as they are a prized ingredient in alchemical potions. That will continue to afford me the opportunity to search these lands for a challenge worthy of story, for I have yet to see what would make me tremble. Alright. 2 more books in here. Herbalist's Guide to Skyrim by Agneta Thalia. Okay. Those avoiding this northern province due to claims of barbarism or concerns over climate are doing themselves a disservice. In fact, Skyrim has a wealth of materials that every alchemist would do well to avail himself of. I have traveled extensively through this land, and here are but a few of my findings. Bleeding crown. The caps of these mushrooms do indeed appear smeared with blood, though it is often hard to see in the dark, damp places in which they grow. Not uncommonly found in Skyrim, their abundance is countered by the difficulty in acquiring them. As any experienced herbalist knows, the darkest of caves often conceal far more than mere mushrooms. Nonetheless, these potent fungi, when combined with certain powdered antlers, produce a mixture rendering one quite susceptible to poison. Their usefulness is also quite apparent when mixed with lavender, creating a substance highly resistant to magic. Deathbell. Folklore abounds about this flower found in the swamps of Hjalmarch. Some stories claim it grows where unfortunate deaths have taken place. Others insist it grows first and then lures unsuspecting people and animals to their doom. I have found no direct evidence to support these stories. Indeed, I have found the flowers difficult to locate at all. While it is most well known for its use in poisons, it would be remiss to overlook that the blooms of the deathbell are very effective in mixtures for boosting one's alchemy skill. Dragonfly. A surprising number of insects survive in Skyrim's climate, many thriving in the lower southern areas of the province. Dragonflies can be found in a great many places, and while catching them can be a daunting prospect, the reward is well worth the effort. It was beyond the scope of my research to determine whether the orange and blue dragonflies are fully different breeds or merely simple color variations, but through experimentation I found that the orange dragonfly, when combined with the very hardy barnacles found along the coast, transfers some of their flighty nature, giving the herbalist some very nimble fingers. Hagraven claw. The claws of a hagraven are best obtained in shops. It is inadvisable to suggest one collect them oneself. These creatures have traded in their humanity for access to powerful magics, and the transformations they undergo infuse their entire beings with some element of that power. Ingesting the powdered claws makes one more resistant to magic, but an especially curious property of the claws is revealed when mixed with snowberries, often found in Skyrim's higher elevations. I found myself capable of comprehending enchantments I had believed mystifying after ingesting the mixture, and have passed this knowledge on to several court wizards who were grateful for the knowledge. Jazzbay. There was a time when it would be considered treason to pick one of these grapes without express permission from the Emperor himself. It is my understanding that although growers in Skyrim were successful in improving the fruit's survivability, it came at the cost of flavor. No longer is it quite the prize it once was, and yet growing amidst the volcanic tundra of Eastmarch, it is still immensely useful for concocting potions. Mages value it highly, as it can be combined with simple garlic to enhance the regeneration of magicka. While no longer against the law, picking these grapes in large amounts is best kept to oneself. Luna Mothwing. As with the dragonflies, I was taken aback by the number of butterflies, moths, and other insects that managed to thrive in Skyrim. the Luna moth is especially beautiful. Its thin, almost ephemeral wings seem too delicate to hoist anything into the air, giving them an almost magical appearance. Indeed, that sense extends to the properties they exhibit when crushed and distilled, an action I admit was difficult to perform at first, no matter my resolve to discover all that Skyrim has to offer. These creatures are simply that beautiful. While they can be used for creating poisons that damage magicka, I feel that would be a waste of their potential. Do not be alarmed if, when the wings are broken down almost completely, they appear to almost disappear under your mortar. That very quality makes the wings quite effective in potions of invisibility. Tundra cotton. Not all Nords are savages, wrapped in animal skins, howling at the moon. There are a wide variety of fabrics worn throughout the land, thanks in no small part to the stubborn tundra cotton plant. It soaks up what rain it can in the plains west of Whiterun, and blooms frequently. While it does not exhibit any of the more striking alchemical properties, it is a staple in potions for not only fortifying magicka, but for resisting spells as well. I wonder if that quality is what allows it to have adapted so well to this climate. Nightshade. The name and shape of this plant are known to all, long understood to be one of the more potent components in many poisons. The average Nord keeps his distance from the bright purple flowers nestled among dark leaves. It is exceedingly effective as a pure poison, but it can also be combined with other compounds to stiffen joints as well. It is thus favored among those who wish to disable their opponents in battle, and can be found coating the blades of many of the more unsavory characters in Skyrim. Alright, that's a good one. Oh, more. Oh, the Book of Daedra. Ooh, this one, yes. I am excited. This is the one where I'm like, yes, this is all the good characters. Book of Daedra. These are the ones Blissera seeks favor from. Okay. Azura, whose sphere is dusk and dawn, the magic in between realms of twilight, known as Moonshadow, mother of the rose and queen of the night sky. Boethia, whose sphere is deceit and conspiracy, and the secret plots of murder, assassination, treason, and unlawful overthrow of authority. Clavicus Vile, whose sphere is the granting of power and wishes through ritual invocations and pact. Hermaeus Mora, whose sphere is scrying of the tides of fate, and of the past and future as read in the stars and heavens, and in whose domain are the treasures of knowledge and memory. Hircine, whose sphere is the hunt, the sport of Daedra, the great game, the chase, known as the huntsman and the father of man-beasts. Malakath, whose sphere is the patronage of the spurred and ostracized, the keeper of the sworn oath and the bloody curse. Maroon's Dagon, whose sphere is destruction, change, revolution, energy, and ambition. Mephala, whose sphere is obscure to mortals, known by the names web spinner, spinner, and spider, whose only consistent theme seems to be interference in the affairs of mortals for her amusement. Meridia, whose sphere is obscure to mortals, who is associated with the energies of living things. Molag Bal, whose sphere is the domination and enslavement of mortals, whose desire is to harvest the souls of mortals, and to bring mortal souls within his sway by spreading seeds of strife and discord in the mortal realms. Namira, whose sphere is the ancient darkness, known as the Spirit Daedra, ruler of the sundry dark and shadowy spirits, associated with spiders, insects, slugs, and other repulsive creatures which inspire mortals with an instinctive revulsion. Nocturnal, whose sphere is the night and darkness, who is known as the Night Mistress. So what's the difference between the mirror and... Is she's all grimy bugs and she's more like night itself, I guess. Okay. Narrite, whose sphere is the ordering of the lowest orders of oblivion, known as the Taskmaster. Oh, Periite, Periite, whose sphere is the ordering of lowest orders of oblivion, known as the Taskmaster. He's also the he's all about like, what is it, like diseases and stuff. That's kind of his whole thing. Sanguine, whose sphere is hedonistic revelry and debauchery, and passionate indulgences of darker natures. Shegorath, whose sphere is madness, and whose motives are unknowable. Varmina, whose sphere is the realm of dreams and nightmares, from whose realm issues forth evil omens. Especially marked for special interest under the heading Malakath, you find a reference to Scourge, blessed by Malakath, and dedicated to the use of mortals. In short, the reference suggests that any Daedra attempting to invoke the weapon's power will be expelled into the void streams of oblivion. Of the legendary artifacts of the Daedra, many are well known, like Azura's Star and Shegorath's Wabajak. Others are less well known, like Scourge, Makan's Hammer, Bane of Daedra. Yet through Malakath, blessed Scourge to be more potent against his Daedra kin, he thought not that it should fall into Daedric hands, then to serve as a tool for private war among Caitiff and Forsaken. Thus did Malakath curse the device such that, should any dark kin seek to invoke its power, that a void should open and swallow that Daedra, and plunge him into oblivion's void streams, from thence to pathfind back to the real and unreal worlds in the full order of time. Ooh, nice. Wabajak! Wabajak! You should not have done that. You ever seen that, is it a Vine? Or is it I think it's not a Vine. It's not that one TikToker video that had the voice actor for Shegorath and the guards. There will be consequences. Okay. Wabajak. Little boys shouldn't summon up the forces of eternal darkness unless they have an adult supervising. I know. But on that sunny night on the 5th of First Seed, I didn't want an adult. I wanted Hermaeus Mora, the Daedra of knowledge, learning, gums, and varnishes. You see, I was told by a beautiful large-breasted woman, a beautiful large-breasted man who lives under the library in my hometown, that the 5th of First Seed was Hermaeus Mora's night, and if I wanted the Ogma Infinitium, the Book of Knowledge, I had to summon him. When you're the new King of Solitude, every bit of knowledge helps. Normally, you need a witch's coven or a mage's guild, or at least matching pillowcase and sheets to invoke a Prince of Oblivion. The man under the library showed me how to do it myself. He told me to wait until the storm was at its height before shaving the cat. I forgot the rest of the ceremony. It doesn't matter. Someone appeared who I thought was Hermaeus Mora. The only thing that made me somewhat suspicious was Hermaeus Mora, from that I read, was a big, blobby, multi-eyed, clawed monstrosity, and this guy looked like a waistcoated banker. Also, he kept calling himself Shegareth, not Hermaeus Mora. Still, I was so happy to have successfully summoned Hermaeus Mora. These inconsistencies did not bother me. He had me do some things that didn't make any sense to me, beyond the mortal scope, breadth and ken, I suppose. And then his servant happily gave me something he called the Wabajack, Wabajack, Wabajack. Wabajack, 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 Wabajack. Maybe the Wabajack is the book of knowledge. Maybe I'm smarter because I know cats can be bats and can be rats, can be hats, can be dats, and can be that's, then be this is, and that doors can be bores, can be snores, can be floors, can be roars, can be spores, can be yours, can be mine. I must be smart, for the interconnective system is very clear to me. Then why or wherefore do people keep calling me mad? Wabajack, Wabajack, Wabajack! Okay. So maybe it was the man under the library that Belisara met at one point. I don't know. The mysteries. Is that another? Oh no, there's more books. Depending on the time frame, yeah, I've reached kind of I have reached the limit, I think. So we're gonna have to continue and read some more books later. We got that one, Penchant for an Ancient Moth, and those ones. Oh, however, I actually can't read these because they are different volumes. Let me look. I did make a note for myself that I cannot read volumes out of order. So, let's see, Songs of Return. Well, there's actually no first volume, so I guess I can read that one. About the real Boethia, or the real Bazari. That one has volumes. Yeah, so I can't read that right now. Nor that one. I need volume 1. But I am running a little over time. So I'm gonna end here. Just like her standing in the background there. So yeah, this has been another episode of Skyrim Scholar Survival. Doing survival mode and reading every book I can. I'll be picking this up, I think I'll just do like an hour a day if I have time. And kind of reading and editing within that time frame. But yeah, I will pick up Pension of an Ancient Moth and Songs of the Return Volume 7 next time. And then, seeing as I'm hungry, I'll go eat something and sleep at the end and level up. Until then, hope y'all are doing well. Take care, everybody. See you later. Ciao, ciao.